What is up, y'all? Welcome back to another video. And in this video, we are going to be answering some of your questions about the Detroit Lions. Well, at least I'm going to try my best to answer those questions and I guess give my thoughts on those questions. Now, I actually put this both in the YouTube community and on my Instagram page. So make sure you guys go check out my Instagram page. You guys will see it on the screen probably right now. I want to start doing everything over there, and you guys have been awesome. Like, the comments and stuff has been crazy. You guys have been following like crazy. Like, it's awesome. And I've been able to find so many things. I've been able to do so many things with you guys, and now I'm able to ask questions like this, and you guys are just responding so fast. I put this out an hour ago, and I have enough questions to make a video, including the ones that I put on the YouTube community. So it's crazy, but I do want to continue doing these. I lost my pen, so let me just grab that real quick. Let's not make this awkward. Stop. Okay, here we go. Let's react to some of these questions. I'll give you guys my thoughts. Let me hear your thoughts on the questions that these people answered or asked in the comments below. So let's hop right into it. Okay. The first question, we'll start off with Instagram, then we'll hop over to the YouTube questions that I wrote down. If you guys do put a question after the video, I apologize, but yeah, I probably will go on there and just reply then at that point, or maybe I'll throw it into the next one that we do. If you guys want to see more, make sure you let me know as well. Again, go follow my Insta. Let's get right into this thing. So we got KJT2021. I remember him from another Instagram post, and he says, will the Lions keep Darius Slay? If not, who will we sign in free agency to play with Okudah? Possibly, I like Prince Amukamara. I think that's how you say his name. Amukamara. I don't know exactly how to say his name. I think that's right. Okay, so will the Detroit Lions keep Darius Slay? That's a very good question. Honestly, I don't really have an answer to that one. Personally, I don't know. I think they're going to have a high asking price because I do believe the Lions understand that they must win. I do believe Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia believe they must win to save their jobs. And honestly, you know, that's what comes first. Because yes, it is important to build for the future, but if you're not here, you're not building for any future because it's someone else's future at that point and they're taking it over. So they're probably going to be changing it and moving stuff around anyways. And honestly, they probably don't care about whoever the person is next in. So they don't want to lose their job. So I can see why they would want to hold on to Darius Slay, even if that means losing him after the season for basically nothing because he becomes a free agent. Now, if they are blown away by an offer, I'm thinking maybe a late first, early second, or a third in a player, something like that, then they may take it because it does help for the future and it also gives them something in return. But if they're not getting enough in return and they're basically just doing it because they know they don't want to pay the contract, I don't think it'll happen. Like just a third, it won't happen. I don't think they'll do that. Like the Golden Tate thing was different. I don't think they do that here. Not after having all these bad seasons in a row. They know they need to win football games, and getting rid of talent is usually not the way to get there. Even if you think for the future it is, which it may be with Darius Slay, they may not extend him, but I think they're going to ask for a lot. And if they don't get it, they'll hold on to him just because they know they need to win. So, yeah, there you go. That's my answer here. Let me just hop in here. I'm editing this video, and I'm looking at that. I didn't even answer the last part of the question, okay? I didn't even answer the last part. What free agents would I like to sign to play with Okudah? Okay, so you're saying we're drafting Okudah, okay? So you're saying we're drafting, I know there's a weird background. There's no background. You're saying we draft Okudah if we don't keep Slay. So who would I get? Honestly, at that point, I don't know. You could go get a veteran because he's not Darius Slay and Okudah is kind of young. I could see like an older veteran type of player, maybe like someone that doesn't want a huge contract, maybe like a Chris Harris. He may want a pretty nice contract though. Maybe you get Josh Norman on something really inexpensive, even though I don't really like him. It's that kind of deal. I'd look at like a veteran like that. You said Prince here. I'd go somewhere that's a veteran if you bring in Okudah and you lose Slay, just to get that presence, because you do have a lot of young guys with Amani, then Okudah. You need someone that's kind of a veteran in there that's also still pretty talented to be either your 1 or 2 cornerbacks, a 1A, 1B type of deal or something like that. Yeah, that's how I'd kind of go about it if I got rid of Darius Slay. Again, if you keep Darius Slay, I already answered that. So I'm going to get on to the next question. I'm so sorry. I messed that up. There you go. Let's go back to the video. Thank you for the comment. Next one we have Kyle Martins, who says, do you think it would be wise to draft Tua knowing how bad our defense is right now? I personally would like to see a defensive first-round pick, but what are your thoughts? Okay, so personally, I would love to see a defensive pick as well. Do I think it would be wise to draft Tua? I've never been completely against drafting Tua Tagovailoa, especially after, the health things come out saying that he's healthy, and we'll see, after the combine how everything looks. But if he looks really good and he's super healthy, I wouldn't be necessarily really mad. However, I think it does make sense to go elsewhere. I think this team can get a lot better and can be a lot better next season with a couple of additions defensively and a little bit offensively. I don't think they're as far as you may think on the surface. I think obviously once Stafford went down, they were a lot worse of a team. And I think protecting Stafford honestly is the number one goal. I mean, let's think about it for a second. If you got Matthew Stafford that's getting hit like crazy and he's getting hurt, What do you think it's going to be like for Tua Tagovailoa? He's already dealt with an injury, right? So you don't want him getting hurt. So yes, it may be a little bit different of an injury, but you want to make sure you're protecting him first. And then secondly, the defense needs an upgrade, because even if you have Tua Tagovailoa, it won't matter. He can't be good enough to take a defense that's literally one of the worst in the league and make you a playoff team. It just won't happen, all right? It's not going to happen. You still have to have a team built around him. And then again, trading Matthew Stafford away doesn't make a lot of sense this year with all the dead money. So a lot of things just don't make sense to trading away Stafford. I wouldn't, like I said, be super furious if they drafted Tua. However, I'm with you. I would go defense first and try to fix some holes. Now, if they go crazy defense in free agency, they don't have too many holes, or they got holes where they can fill out later, then potentially they could look to trade back, possibly get an offensive lineman in the first round. I think those are, potential ideas that, are kind of slept on, but could be potential moves that they make. I'm using potential a lot here. Thank you for the question. Next up, we have Logan Ryder. I believe he commented on another thing as well. He says, do you think Stafford coming off an injury will affect his play this upcoming season? Okay, now this one's really hard because we know it was severe enough to the point where he was missing games. However, we don't know how severe, we don't know how he's feeling right now. And there's just a lot that goes into injuries. It's really hard to judge. I would say I'm not really too worried about it. I would say I'm more worried about re-injury than necessarily his play when he's not hurt. Like, if he goes into next season and he's not going down getting injured, then I think he's going to be fine, just as good as last season, if not even better. However, I'm not too worried about that. I'm more worried about the fact that he could be re-injured if he is hit again a very wrong way, and that's why I want to protect Matthew Stafford. I don't want him getting consistently hit. He'll take a lot of hits because he's so durable and he's just a great quarterback and he fights very hard. He just won't go down. He'll just keep fighting, getting back up. But if you get him hit too many times, you're going to have a problem. That's what I'm more worried about. However, if he wasn't hit, for example, if he was just stood up all game, I don't think his production will dip or anything. I think he's still going to be a heck of a quarterback next season. I think, coming off of last year, he looked a lot better with Darrell Bevel, way more comfortable. We have the weapons around him. Building an offensive line would definitely help. I just think his second year under Darrell Bevel with Matthew Stafford, he's getting to that age where maybe, you start losing some of that arm strength, which I don't think he's lost at all. He still can just fire that thing. But even if you do, I think even if he's losing that, he's gaining, a lot of knowledge. He's a very smart player when it comes to being on the field. He's able to be more accurate. He's way more accurate than he used to be. I think a lot of his deep ball passes were very inaccurate at times. In the past, it was kind of just, Calvin's out there. And he wouldn't really have to work on it because Calvin's down there. I'm just throwing it up. As long as I put it near him and high, he can go make a play. However, recently, since Calvin Johnson's been gone and as those years are going on, Matthew Stafford has become a lot more accurate down the field. He seemed to be able to read the field a lot better. He makes a lot of very good adjustments. And not only that, you can see if you watch him play, he looks off the wide receivers almost every single time. And it's very impressive to see. I think that's going to improve even if his physical game doesn't improve. But keeping him up is definitely priority number one this offseason. And then his defense. Next up says, from Pride Today, he's actually another Detroit Lions Instagram channel, I believe. Instagram page. So if you guys go check him out if you want. He says, what should we do with Driscoll and Blau? This is a good question. This is a very good question. Hard one to answer, but it's a good question. Driscoll and Blau, both young quarterbacks that played last year because of Matthew Stafford's injury. Personally, I liked how Jeff Driscoll played. I think he was very underrated in his play. I think there was multiple games that we could have won. Kind of the same thing for David Blau as well. I think he had a very, very great game when he started. A big pass to Kenny Galladay, and the hype train was built. I think he kind of, came back to reality a little bit after that game. Both of these guys are solid. One of them, if not either of them, will probably not be on the team. I think at most one of these guys will be on the team next year. I don't see both of them coming back. I don't know which one that would be. They're both young. They both could come back. I could see David Blau maybe more. I think a lot of people are kind of going with that it could be David Blau. However, I do believe the Lions do bring in a quarterback this offseason. They will run with three, in my opinion. I think they bring in someone, either a veteran backup, or they will bring in a drafted quarterback later. The thing is, if the Detroit Lions bring in a veteran, I could see David Blau or Jeff Driscoll being there as the third string. But if they don't bring a veteran and they go in the draft and they bring like a 5th round player or maybe even a 6th round player that outplays Driscoll and Blau and wins that job, I could see neither of them making the team, and maybe he's the third, maybe you get a veteran, or, maybe, he's just a second. I could see that. So I think they want to see a veteran get signed, if anything, and maybe they win out that job. Maybe they'll take control of that job, and maybe they'll be the future backup. I'm not exactly sure, but I will say there was good glimpses. Obviously, neither of them looked like great starters. However, I think both of them showed a lot of fight, and it was very good to see. I just don't know if either of them are future quarterback material. I almost feel like at the backup quarterback position, either you need a quarterback that looks like in the future he can grow into the starter, or you want a older veteran backup that can come in and win a few games. Right now, I don't know if there are either of those, but we'll see after this offseason how that plays out. Next up, we got Frankie Garcia here, 24/7. He says, why do we have big tanky linebackers if we don't blitz them? Don't the Patriots blitz a decent amount? That's a very hard question to answer because we don't blitz a lot. You're right. We just don't blitz a lot. And a lot of it has to do with Matt Patricia's scheme. I was actually looking at the blitz percentage. I believe we blitzed about 18% of quarterback backups, which was 30th in the league. So we were near the bottom of blitzing percentage. So yes, we don't blitz a lot. I think the Patriots are somewhere near 20. So they did blitz more. They didn't blitz a crazy amount. Okay, they didn't blitz anywhere insane. I actually do think I have it pulled up right here. I may have it pulled up. I do have it pulled up. Haha, what do you think? Okay, well, the Patriot Lions, you can see, are 30th in the league, blitzing only 18% of the time, just off from the Raiders. And you can see the Chargers, they never blitzed at all. Obviously, none of these teams are very good, but there are the San Francisco 49ers, 20.9, so it can work. It's not that it won't work. It can work. It just has to, you have to have a team built for that. You have to have good defensive linemen, and I think that's a perfect example. Nick Bosa, you got Armstead, you got D Ford, you have all these guys that can get pressure without having to send tons of blitz, and you can see they didn't blitz a lot of quarterback backups, but they were still a great defense. And when you come up here, you could see that the Patriots, I'm not even sure who New England is on this, actually, now that I think about it. I'm going to have to find New England. New England is, where's New England? Oh, they're way at the top. Never mind. Just forget everything I literally just said. The Patriots blitz a lot. I don't know why I said 20th. That was stuck in my head for some reason. So yeah, they blitzed a lot. 37.1% of the time, they were the best defense. I think you can tell that both of them can succeed. The Baltimore was a great defense. Both can succeed. You don't have to blitz to be great. I think more teams that do blitz are better defensively. But the 49ers, for example, they didn't blitz a lot and they were still very good. So they're that one outlier maybe, or you can do both, and you just have to be successful. To answer your question on why do we have big tanky linebackers if we don't blitz them, don't the Patriots blitz a decent amount? I don't know. I think, we do have some big, longer linebackers, and Matt Patricia's always one of those guys that could set the edge, at least on the outside. In the interior, I think we need to get more pass coverage linebackers. I think that needs to be a thing that we address this offseason. I would love to have another pass coverage linebacker. I love, the guys that can tackle, but I want at least one player who can cover. That's where Isaiah Simmons comes into it, Corey Littleton, those type of players, and I would love to add one this offseason. Clearly, our linebackers don't cover very well, and adding one of those would be very beneficial. So now we have a couple questions left. These are from YouTube community, from at least by the time I'm making this video, what I've seen. Again, if I'm late on that, I apologize if you didn't get your video and your question here, but hey, you know what? Hey, I'm sorry, okay? Maybe I'll put it in the next one, or I'll just reply to you. I'm sorry. Okay. The first question is pretty simple. Simmons or Okudah? Okay, that's hard. I'm honestly wouldn't be mad about either pick. I would say I think Simmons is I think if you take the roster as it is now, Simmons is who I would go with. However, if Darius Slay is gone, I'm probably going with Okudah because we need another cornerback. But if Darius Slay is not gone, I probably would take Simmons, but again, I wouldn't be mad if we take Okudah. So there you go. My next man, Shane, he actually asked a question. I think he's waiting for after the offseason, so I'll answer that one. I'll come back to that one. You hit me up after the offseason, I can answer that question. I don't, unless you wanted me to answer it now, but I can't really rank after the offseason if the offseason really hasn't happened yet. But hey, I'll see you on that question a little bit later. All right, next up, we got Bob Quinn. He says, does Bob Quinn know what he's doing? That's a pretty straightforward question. I would say the results show no. And I know that sounds messed up because I do believe that we can build something here and that we have a chance to be really good and have a good season next year. However, the only thing that I can use as an argument on that is, okay, let's look at his draft picks. How many has he hit on? How many has he missed on? He hasn't been terrible. Some teams have been really bad. He hasn't been awful. He's hit on some good ones. Definitely missed on a lot of picks, so I'm not going to act like he's been good. He's been okay. He's been serviceable in that aspect. And then when you look at the success rate, hasn't been there. He fired a coach that was better than his coach has been. So I would say, does Bob Quinn know what he's doing? I don't know, but are the results there? No. So I guess if you're looking at results specifically, no, he's not doing a very good job. But at the same time, I think that could definitely change. And we know one really good season, one playoff win will change that whole narrative just like that. So there you go. And then finally, the last question we have. Would you go running back in the second round or keep Kerryon and Bo? What do I think the Lions are thinking with that? I think the Lions are thinking Kerryon and Bo. I think the Lions are looking more towards Kerryon, Bo, and Ty. Don't forget Ty. I really do think that's a 3 group of running backs. However, I am almost more questionable about Kerryon than Bo and Ty. I think those 2 guys are safe. It's more carry on to me because of the injuries. We know the Lions are willing to make some moves this offseason. Maybe they'll keep him around because they're a little nervous that they need to win next season. They want a talented running back. However, I would not be too shocked if he was actually traded this offseason. And again, if that happens, running back in second round is very, very likely. But I do think Ty Johnson and Bo Scarborough are here to stay. So there you go. This is the first Lions mailbag or mailbox or spam. You know, Lions spam. Is that what we're calling it? Like the food? No, not like the food. I don't know. You guys think of a cool name for this. Anyways, let me hear your thoughts, comments below. If you guys have any answers to the questions that I read off that aren't the same as my answer, make sure you let me know as well. And if you guys want your question next one, make sure you guys go follow me on Instagram. That way when I post these, you guys see them. And if you can't follow me on Instagram because you don't have one, make sure you keep up to date with YouTube community or my community. And yeah, I appreciate all of you guys for stopping in. This has been a very fun episode, and I hope I can do more of these. Thank you for watching, and I'm out.